Welcome to the webinar and happy to be here. I am Rohit Mathur, co-founder of FieldWorker. And along with me, I have my partner, Prabhat Vesh, who is, very experienced professor of computer science at NJIT as well. We also have Chris Delgado from our account management team and Sunny Nair from the customer success team as well. Beautiful day outside here in Princeton, New Jersey. Wonderful fall weather, and hopefully wherever you are enjoying this. Unless, of course, you're dealing with allergies, that is not a good thing. But regardless, hopefully all is good. All right. So quick background on where we are coming from. I myself come with the family experience of developmental disabilities. So this is a passion project. Both Prabhat and I have experience in that area. We bring several decades of technology experience to the table as well. And FieldWorker is a software product that we have taken a few years to design and develop, especially to help organizations who are facing challenges while delivering services at home or in the community to people with developmental disabilities. So we would like to keep this informal and interactive as much as possible. So please feel free to ask questions during the webinar. Just type it into the chat window or the Q&A window, and one of us will pick it up and be happy to answer those questions. And of course, if you have anything specific to your agency that you would like to discuss, drop us an email. Our email address is on the screen, info@fieldworker.ai, and we are happy to schedule some time and talk to you as well. Effectively, we are happy to talk to you and answer any questions. So following is what we are going to do today, right? We want to keep to our timeline and show you what the product does as well. So we are going to discuss a little bit about some of the challenges that care provider agencies are facing in the field. And then we are going to go into and show you exactly how we are looking to address some of those challenges. So we're going to show you the product and you'll see it live working. Sunny is going to show you how the product works. And after that, we are going to leave a few minutes for Q&A so that you can answer any questions that you might have. So to discuss some of the challenges that currently exist in the field, let me ask Prabhat to expound on that for a couple of minutes. And then, so Prabhat, what are some of the challenges that you see service provider agencies facing and overall in general?
Sure. So once again, welcome everyone. As Rohit mentioned, that we have developed this software primarily to the people who are working in this industry. I'll just add one more thing here, that we have a fairly good contact or fairly good coverage of the user base in the support coordination industry as well. And that's where we have a couple of major agencies in New Jersey who are our customers. And we come across the service providers and hear into what the industry is facing. Obviously, one of the key problems that we have heard is really the shortage of workers or the worker burnout for various reasons, right? One of the recent reports talks about that there are almost 1 million jobs out there which are not yet filled over a period of next 10 years or so. And basically, what we are going to say that there may be existing workers who are possibly overworked. They probably are working with the tools which are old. In some cases, those tools may be something that is just pen and paper. So a lot of issues, Rohit, that we have seen where this critical worker group is facing problems even when they are available to work, they're overworked.
Great, thanks for that. And also, to some extent, how can care agencies, you think, mitigate some of these challenges?
Right. So if you think about it, the the care workers are some of the most compassionate workers. The agencies are out there trying to help out, get the quality care to their customers, want to make sure that everything's being done as expected by the state, the payers, or everybody else. And just like being a true business, they also want to make sure that they're trying to optimize their earnings or their profits, basically. So some of the obstacles include the amount of work that are being done or asked to be completed by the care workers. Clearly, there are expectations. In addition to providing good service, they'll be documenting it. They'll be actually making a lot of different tick marks or check marks that they have to do. They have to document what they're doing. And also, there are inefficiencies in terms of reporting. So a lot of obstacles in delivering quality care, even when an agency has sufficient number of workers out there.
That's excellent. And of course, as you rightly said, the organizations want to do a good job. They want to have the right quality controls in place, and of course keep their employees happy. As you referred to the crisis in employment and high turnover rates, we want to make sure that we provide our employees with the right tools, so that we make their job as easy as possible while they provide the highest level of care as well.
Right, absolutely. And on top of it, as an agency owner, you want to make sure that the work is provided in the best possible manner, and you're not leaving money behind. You're maximizing your revenue. You're utilizing whatever the authorizations you have received. So, like a mix of the issues for which, if there are better solutions, I hope all the agency owners as well as their employees will be happy or happier.
Perfect. Yes, exactly right. That's a great summary. And if what are the solutions? Like, how can FieldWorker help with this? If you can say that in a few words before we actually go into the product itself.
Right. So I think the FieldWorker, we actually started, and as you mentioned in the beginning, both you and I come with long experience in the IT industry, long experience in the industries that have had a lot of oversight or regulatory compliance requirements. So we kind of understand how these things make life somewhat difficult. So we came out with a product 2 years ago, which was basically a cloud-based, be very easy to use, utilizing your efficient or familiar interfaces on your mobile devices. And then it lets you basically consolidate all the information in one place, let the companies, the agencies, which are possibly most of them are small or medium sized, or actually mostly small sized companies, get benefit that a large company usually has. Automate their workflow, automate as much processes as they can, and then bring in the quality control aspect of it, something that small agencies might find difficult. So literally, we are providing facilities so that you, being a small agency, can actually have systems or processes which usually are not large agency with a larger workforce can only afford up until now. So that's what we are providing here.
Perfect. That's great. Thank you so much. And with that, I'm going to hand over to Sunny. Sunny, if you can, show people how FieldWorker works and how it can help their organizations.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rohit. And good afternoon, everybody. I will just share my screen here, and it should bring us to the sign-in page. So this is the FieldWorker sign-in page. We use Microsoft as our login in order to be HIPAA compliant. So the product is completely HIPAA compliant, and all our employees also go through HIPAA training every year. We have a single sign-on, and a user ID and password will be emailed to your employees. They would then use that user ID and password to enter into the system. We also use the authenticator in order to maintain security levels. And it can be set up by your employees. I would be skipping the setup for this example. And you should now be logged into the FieldWorker home screen. So this is the FieldWorker home screen. and an access that your employees would have access to when they log in. And you as an admin also would have the same access. On the front, we see the upcoming appointments. So if you have any scheduled upcoming appointments, they would show up on the main screen. Coming to the client tab, this is the centralized location for all your client information. And it's the different projects your clients are associated with, the different services or tasks that would be performed for your client, as well as different employees associated with the client and family members who are a part of, who can be added in as a contact in the system and associated with the client. We also have the notes. So we know case notes is a very big aspect of service providing. So we have case notes, which can be added in and associated with different services. So you would then have access to this in the client dashboard. And then we have finally the authorizations, which I will talk about more in detail, but it's driven off the SDR, as every client comes in with an SDR document, which has the authorizations for the plan year listed in that. So based on that document, it displays on the client record, and you can then have a track of different of the units that are remaining and the units used. So I'll talk about this in detail. First, just going over projects. So every client can have multiple projects that they are a part of, and you can assign this through the system. Every project has the different employees working with that client on that particular service or project. So every service can have their own projects, and it's all of the information regarding the client. And this is a centralized location, so you would see all the information flow here. We have tasks. So you have a list of ongoing or completed tasks. So any services which have been performed for your clients will be displayed here. The employees associated with the client would be able to see this, and hence it allows them to schedule future visits based on the number of authorizations, as well as what tasks have been or services have been completed already. So we have tasks. Coming to the People's tab, we have contacts. So this is where you can associate multiple employees. So if any employee of your system, a caseworker, sometimes caseworkers fill in for people who are sick or cannot be in the office. So you can always assign multiple employees to a single client record, and that would then give them access to perform services or record time for that client. It's a very simple, just a single click, add employee, and the employee will then be associated with the client record. They then have access to all of this information. Coming to contacts. So if the parent, the siblings, any information that you would like to store of the family or people related to the client, you can store it as a contact. You can add multiple contacts and store it to the client record. Coming to the files. If there is a case note that you are currently collecting for your clients, they can be stored as documents, and this can work through the mobile app as well as the web app. We have an Android and iOS mobile app, which allows you the capability of uploading documents or entering in case notes, which then flow into the web app as well. It's a centralized location for all of this information. So any case notes that are added in for the client can be added to the client project or client record, and that's then accessible by the admin and your QA. Coming to the notes, case notes associated with the client can be added to the client record as well as associated with a certain service. So in this example, I know there was a home visit yesterday, and this was the case note which was added for the home visit. It also gives you information on who created the note. So you have a track of which employee is working with the client. Flowing into the authorizations. Our authorization system works off the SDR. So we have a prior authorization template, which you can use to create the different authorizations mentioned for a client in that prior auth file. So once entered in, every month would have the prior auth information with the service period and the total amount and units for that service period. It also flows into the next month. So the whole plan year can be set up initially when the client is a part of the system. In order to get the client into the system, we have the bulk upload feature, which is a template where you can create all your client data and upload to our system, which sets up the clients, the employee relationship, as well as projects for these clients with the different services. For the employee upload, we also have an employee bulk import if you need to get your employees into the system, or we have a single first name, last name email in which you can get your employees signed up before even adding in the clients and then associate multiple employees to the clients. Coming into the authorizations, in the authorization tab, you will see we have the prior auth number for that service period listed with the proc code or the service that is being provided to the customer. So it could be community-based supports, individual supports, respite, whatever service is being provided, that would be the procedure code. And all of this information is present on the SDR, the diagnosis code for the client, the service period, and then the total number of units. If you see, we have a total number of 26 units which are used for this client, as I had different tasks already performed in the service period. And as we move forward, we add up all the units to show you the total number of remaining units in the client plan. This gives you a good number of the units remaining for that client plan, and you can then schedule visits in order to not lose any units which are already approved for the client. Now, when a service is being performed, so for example, here we have 26 units used. When a service is performed for the client based on the hours and the units used for that service, we then update this information, which gives you a live view of the total number of units that you have remaining for a service period for a client. I will now enter in a timesheet in order to show you this example. We have two ways in which your employees can enter time onto the system. It could be either to a task, which requires a check-in and a checkout. We have a mobile app for that, and it's geographically driven to take care of EVV clients currently. So your employees can only check in and check out when they are at the client location. So that's one way of getting time into the system. The other is through the timesheets. So your employees can enter in timesheets through the web app as well as through the mobile app by selecting the client name, adding in the task title. You can then select task type, and most of the system is configurable. So this list can also be configured, and you can select the task types or services associated with the customer. So if I have Damon Milando just having individual supports, I can associate that, and I will walk you through that in a minute. But for this example, I will say home visit and the time. So I had a visit from 10 a.m. today to 12 p.m. So once the timesheet has been added in by your employees, it would show up on your screen. When you log in and go to the client record, you would see that the authorization is now updated, taking into account the units which have been used for this service. This also flows into the billing of this service. So we have integrated and can submit your Medicaid claims electronically. So when you come to the charge capture option, you will see that Damon Milando shows up with the service period, and there are different tasks which are a part of that service period. So based on this, we have the total amount that has to be billed for the service period. And once all the charges have been used up, all the units have been used up, you can then click and send this claim to our claims table, which is where you would submit the claims for processing. On the claims table, we also have a manual claim add, so you can also manually add claims if ever needed for a customer, and also a template where you can have all the client claims created and uploaded to our system. So I'm just going to delete this. And the claims dashboard is what you would use to monitor your Medicaid claim. So we have the claim status mentioned here. Once it's submitted, you can always click the claim that has to be submitted, make sure all the client information is correct, and it would be displayed right here. If there is a problem and something needs to be changed, it can be changed directly from the claims table. So it's ease of access before submitting a claim, double checking all the information so that it flows through correctly. So for example, if there is something wrong, I can always double click the information and change the information as needed. Once the claim is ready, I can always click on the claim and submit it for processing. So we receive this claim and submit it forward to NJMMIS. Once the claim has been submitted, the status changes to released. And based on the processing, we will then update the claim status. So you would either get an approved or a rejected claim status. So if there is any denied claim, you can always change the information based on the error that we get back and resubmit the claim from the claims dashboard. Now, going back to the client information, in order to assign particular customers, task types, or services to a particular client, you can always select which task type aligns to the client service. This then reduces errors, as your employees would only have this task type present in the list, and that ensures there is accuracy in details before moving to the billing. Coming in to the reporting. So we have extensive reporting and always work with custom reports on the system. So if there are custom reports that you would need, that is available, but we also have extensive reporting present here. So coming to the billing part of it, we have the invoice report, which can be based on the service. So you can have a service period mentioned here, and based on that, this information is updated. So we have the invoice report, the billing transaction report, the prior auth utilization report. So when I click on the prior auth utilization report, it gives me the total amount that I have as an expected revenue with what has already been billed for and what is remaining. We also have the service authorization report, which is a view of all your client services with the service periods and the authorization for that amount. So based on the month that you have selected, it will show you the authorized period and the information for the clients who are a part of your system. Once the billing has processed, we also have a billing transaction report and an invoice report, which gives you the total amount that you are supposed to receive. We also have various timesheet reports, which walk you through the different time entered in for your employees. So based on hours or minutes that have been entered in by your employees, you would see this information through with additional information of the task, what was the task name, the task type, what kind of service it was performed. And we have capabilities of filtering this data. And you can always have just the client information that you wanted to. So it's extensive reporting. And we also have the custom report feature. So if there is any information that you need, you can always select the fields and have information populate. So that is the whole process where we have different clients that can be created on the system. We have client projects, which is a part of the different services that the client is a part of. We have tasks. So a task is a service for that client. So if there is a home visit that is happening, if there is a phone call, all of that information can be recorded on our system by your employees. And you as an admin have a view to all of this through the client dashboard. Hence, monitoring of time, units, billing is really easy through the system. The people, multiple employees being associated with a single client project gives them access to all the client information. So if there is an employee who is on call and filling in, once you have added them to the client record, they would have information of any previous tasks that have been completed or notes, based on which they can then schedule further tasks. Any contact, the parent information, the caseworker, even the sibling information for a client can be stored here, and this can be added in through the system and associated with multiple customers. We then have files, just going over this. So it's different case notes that you can have. So if you're currently collecting case notes in a particular template or format, and it's a paper case note, you can always take a picture of it on the mobile app and upload it to the system. So through the mobile app, we have the uploading of a document which is stored on your phone, or also you can take a picture of a document and upload it to the system. From here, you can always have documents which are a part of your machine uploaded to the system and associated with the task. So if you have a service which is performed and you have a particular case note, you can make the correlation right here. Coming to notes, case notes, as you can see, case notes can be added to the system. And this happens again through the web app as well as the mobile app. On the mobile app, we have an additional feature of voice to text, which allows your caseworkers to talk into the phone by clicking the mic button and then record a note. So it's really easy in the field to enter in the case notes for the clients. And then finally, the authorization, which gives you an idea of the total number of units remaining and the units used for a service period. And then that translates to the whole authorization which you received in the SDR. So it's the whole plan year authorization that we keep a track of and update information based on the units left for the authorization. So if there are units remaining, even after the task ended, you will see that information. And that then is carried forward to the next month. And you can then keep a track of the units remaining or which that before the end of the plan year, so you're not losing on units that have already been approved for the client. Yes, I think that's, and then we have extensive reporting. This is the home screen. Yes, and I'll be happy to take any questions about the system.
Great, thank you so much, Sunny. That was I think a comprehensive demo. We are happy to take questions. There are a few questions here as well. One of them is around, sorry, Prabhat, you wanted to add something?
No, just wanted to add one thing in terms of before we go on to question, and I think it looks like we have quite a few questions out there as well. So in general, Sunny, what you suggest that the strategy for optimizing service unit utilization would be that bring in all the information in one place, track your services provided within the FieldWorker system, and we have capability to really give you reports where you see that you're falling not close to 100% utilization, and you don't need to wait till the end of the month to discover that. You can actually have it literally anytime you want to track, are you tracking towards the 100% utilization or not?
Yes, it's a live tracking of your units left for every service. So a client can have multiple services for a single client plan. So even if you're tracking units for these different services, it can be broken down on the system, and you have a view of this service has these many units remaining, so that you can schedule that in the plan year and not waste the units which have already been approved.
Right. And I'll just also mention that every month you can track it. It's not just for the plan year, but then you can do it on a month-by-month basis as well.
Yes.
Perfect. Yes. Great. Thanks. Rohit, over to you.
Yeah, just quickly adding on to that as well, that from a billing perspective as a service provider, you might be submitting your bills on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, depending on the type of services you provide. And Sunny, as Sunny mentioned, that can be done at any point that you are comfortable with. It is not set to any pre and post schedule.
Yes.
Right. Fantastic. So in trying to keep with the time schedule, we have some questions. One is around security, which is like, how do you ensure that my data is secure? And given compliance requirements around HIPAA, etc., that's a very valid question. Sunny or Prabhat, you want to take that?
Yeah, go ahead, Sunny. Yeah.
Yes. So we use Microsoft in order to be HIPAA compliant. We also have two-factor authentication that has to be set up by your employees. We use military-grade databases in order to save your client information. So all your client information is safe. And we also have different designations on the system in order to maintain a hierarchy of who sees client information. So you can set up your employees on different designations with rights on access. So we have admin, the field worker, we have manager currently who has access to clients associated. So an admin has access of the whole agency, but as an employee, you have access only to the clients who are a part of, only to the clients who are assigned to yourself. So by doing this, we maintain client records not being, displayed to other employees, and all the information is on the system.
Perfect. That is good. So yeah, the system is fully HIPAA compliant and secure, and securely kept in a variety of ways through authorizations, etc. as well. There is another question which says that, is this one package, or can I use some of the services and not others? I'm happy to take that myself. So you can, so for example, the billing module can be separated out from the system. If you are not interested in doing billing, we are a full-on FieldWorker as a case management solution. So you can track your entire business here from front to back. But billing is a separate module, so you can, if you're using some other provider for your billing already, then you can continue to do so if you so desire. But if you don't, then we provide end-to-end solution with all kinds of validations as well in the process. So going with the comprehensive solution helps because all your data is validated and you do error-free 100% billing if you do utilize that through us as well. What kind of technical support is available in case I have some problems or questions? Sunny or Prabhat, you want to take that, or I can take that as well?
Sure, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay,
You can
I'll just take that. So we have we have extensive technical support available. In fact, our technical support is supposed to be outstanding from the reviews that we have received, validated by all of our clients. We provide technical support through phone, through email, and through chat as well. So technical support is available to onboard, to questions, through FAQs. We have a knowledge base. We are here to support you, and we want you to be successful. So in all those ways, we are providing you support at any point in time that you need.
Yes, just to add to that point, we understand how difficult it is to, for the employees to change to a new system. So we work with your employees, even if it is one-on-one, in order to get them into the system, make sure that the process they would be following is all laid out and ironed out. And if there are any issues on the system, we make sure that, we can get in touch and have them get it done on the system. And the system's pretty intuitive. We made it really easy to use. So just to answer Rohit's question about the support, we're going to help you get through the system as well as transition your employees from the current usage to this process.
Yep, excellent. Another question on the prior auth: do we have to manually enter prior auth information into the system, or is that process automated? Sunny, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes. So the prior authorization, currently you can enter a template. We have a template for prior authorizations, which you can create based on the SDR document. It's just adding in the different service periods and the authorized amounts. And once you update that onto our system while entering in the client information, that is then displayed for the whole plan year, or as present on the SDR. So it's a one-time process currently, which happens through the template, and all the information is populated for the plan year. Yes. And we will walk you through the setup of this prior authorization file on how the information can be put efficiently into the system. And it's a really easy process of getting that information in here.
I'm a support coordinator. Do you guys provide help for support coordinators? I'm happy to take that. So we are this webinar was focused towards service provider agencies, and we have shown how the entire process works. We have our system is completely configurable. And for a support coordination agency or a care coordination agency, we have modules that have not been shown as part of this webinar, but they are available on our website, and we are happy to talk to you about them. We have extensive coverage for support coordination agencies through guided monitoring tool processes, through quality controls, through reports, which are focused on making the job of support coordinators and their supervisors easier. We have workflows for the approval process and extensive logic to make sure that your MT submissions are of the highest quality. We can connect with you one-on-one and provide this information to you separately, and also guide you to another webinar that talks more about support coordinators. That's all the questions we have for now. Prabhat, Sunny, or Chris, if you want to add something else we want to keep to our time schedule, please do so. We have a couple of minutes, and otherwise we are at end of time.
Hey everyone. No, nothing to add really, other than the clients that we've helped and that we've walked through to get onboarded with our system have really given us rave reviews, and they keep talking about how we've made them more efficient on a day-to-day basis. So I think other than that, you guys have covered everything very well. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. And we look forward to talking to you soon. If there are any questions, please reach out to us. Thanks so much.
Okay. Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.